Hi. What's up, Afro? How you doing? Iron Will time? Unfortunately, most likely, yes. But, yeah, it's Tuesday. We're back in Wrath of the Righteous. We're doing the auto build thing. I'm gonna try and get through 3 of them today. Which is gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a thing, but I think we can do it. Doing less good when they take great fortitude, especially with Wendu as a fighter. Who actually fucking fully dropped charisma. Interesting. I really like playing people with really low stats. Can't see the game? Well, that's definitely not my fault. That's definitely not my fault. I did not make a mistake here. But yeah, we're gonna be trying to get through Wendu, Woljif, and Ember, which are the next 3 people that you meet throughout normal gameplay. Yo, Igor, what's up? So yeah, first things first, let's take a look. We got Hunter as a background. Make him 4 rogue, 16 VV. Fuck 4 rogue, 16 VV. Why 4 rogue? Just go 16 VV. Just all vivisectionist. Hunter adds lore, nature, and perception for rogue for the injury. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I fully respect him with the respec mod to make him a full vivisectionist. So you get lore, nature, and perception. I don't know what fighter gets as skills normally. Already has a class skill, weapon proficiency already. Yeah. So we get lore, nature, also we get proficient with short bows and long bows. Garbage background. Okay. But the thing is that I should be pickpocket. Yeah. I mean, like, literally, pickpocket should be, like, the go-to for most people. Unless you have a specific build where a specific background helps you, it should be pickpocket. Pickpocket's just too goddamn good. But looking at this, we got a 16 strength, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with a decent strength. Great axe profession. Yeah. They use bow, make them use, yeah. Like that's like one of the consistent complaints with the auto builds is the backgrounds, because they go for RP backgrounds instead of mechanically useful backgrounds, which I understand from a certain perspective, but like as a power gamer, as a speedrunner, I would like them to have more mechanically useful backgrounds. And like another one is the wisdom to persuasion can be really useful. There's a few, or the intelligence to lore, nature, and lore religion could be really useful if you need somebody to deal with those. There's definitely ways to there's definitely some backgrounds that can be very useful. Yeah, exactly, Igor, exactly. But yeah, looking at these stats, I like dumping charisma all the way down. That makes total sense. Honestly, if you're not a charisma-based character, this should be a default choice, because charisma is just really bad unless you're building specifically for it. For the build and her character, exactly. Yeah. She's not a very charismatic person, for sure. 20 dex is great for a bow user. Strength of 16 is also really good. Does boost up that damage. Con of 14, I mean, con is always useful on everybody, and I do kind of like a wisdom of 12. I would have liked a bit more intelligence. You know, get that intelligence of 13 for all of the combat feats. Yo, Rock Deer. It's going. We're here. We're doing the thing. Yeah, I think I would have liked a 13 intelligence here so that we could unlock all of the combat feats, but I don't really know how many of those feats are useful. That was the next question, Igor. I don't know how many of those are useful for a ranged character. I don't play fighters very often. I don't really look into that too much. So I don't know what all of the limited feats are. Combat expertise, which is better for melee combatants. That's fair. If there aren't any, then this is fine. If there are some that would benefit a ranged character, then I would have preferred a 13 intelligence here. Maybe drop con down to 12, wisdom to 10, and then boost up intelligence to 13 or something like that. 13 or 14, whatever you can get. But overall, the stats are good. Like, the stats are really good overall. There's just a little bit of nitpickiness here, depending on what the feats actually are. Lamash 2 is whatever. Fighter proficiencies. We do get point blank precise shot at level 1, which is really, really fucking good. Obviously, if you're going for a ranged person, if you don't pick these as your first two feats, you're doing it fucking wrong. So I'm glad that they didn't fuck up quite that badly. This is a character that I feel is going to be very difficult for them to mess up. Simply because it's a very basic class. It's just feet. And you get so many of them that I don't see how in the base class building you can really fuck it up. Weapon training, maybe you could fuck up the weapon training. But like the feats themselves, I don't see how you can fuck it up really that good. Deadly aim at level 3, that's perfectly fine. Don't underestimate them. Oh, I'm you're very fair. Also, what's up, Lord Bovin? I am worried about, like I said, fighter trading, and the mythic. The mythic choices are like where I'm really concerned that they're gonna fuck up. But we are boosting up lore, nature, and perception. How do I feel about this? Weirdly enough, these are both of the boosts. These are both of the skills that are boosted by her hunter background, so there's that at least. Twice the amount of bad picks, yeah. But like also, like eventually you just run out of picks that are good. So there is that as well. So we get lore, nature, and perception. They are boosted by hunter, but also hunter only matters until you get literally anything, any kind of equipment whatsoever that boosts these skills. And there's a lot of pieces of equipment that boost perception and the lore skills. So I don't really know. Background, they gave stealth instead of lore, nature. Yeah, that's fair, but backgrounds are just consistently bad on these auto builds, unfortunately. I don't like, the thing is, I don't know if fighters, I don't know what skills fighters usually have, right? Like, I don't know if they normally have perception as a class skill. I don't know if they normally have lore, nature. Well, no, they do. They do, because otherwise they wouldn't have this competence bonus. So actually, she got no new skills. So she could have taken another one and not taken any penalties here. Well, we would be at a -1 for now, but it's fine. Deadly aim, just yeah. Yeah, this is another one of those. You're gonna take this as a ranged character. So duh. I'm okay with that. Rapid shot, yeah. Like, we're just going down the line of all of the feats that you're going to take as a ranged character. Fighter gets neither? They shouldn't have the competence bonus on these then. Because you're only supposed to get the competence bonus based on here. Let's go here. If we look at the background, always get. Oh, they're just broken. Oh, I did not know that. I've always been using whether or not they get a +1 competence bonus as an indicator as to whether or not they get those skills. Okay, then that actually does give a little bit of credence to taking, well, basically any background that gives you perception, which is a bunch of them, I'm sure. Because perception is just one of those skills that's always fucking good, right? But that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right. We are boosting dex. That's fine. We are going to end up with a 25 dex at the end of this, which is not great, but you know, what are you going to fucking do? It's an Owlcat auto build. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Igor. So we are going for longbows. The only two choices here really for an auto build, the only two choices would be longbow or shortbow. I have heard that she is very, very good with throwing axes. From what I've heard, most of the people that use her build her into a throwing axe character. I've never played with Wendu. But what about heavy crossbows? Get that shit out of here. Get that shit out of here. Actually, what are the benefits of longbow over a crossbow? Because, like, in the tabletop, if I remember correctly, in tabletop, crossbows, you can't shoot multiple times per round. Because it takes so long to reload them. Crossbow doesn't add strength to damage. That is true. But yeah, I guess I shouldn't just like immediately disregard crossbows as a choice for a ranged character. They're just like, I always think of them as you put them on the people that are shit at every other weapon. Your mages, your healers, that kind of person. And then immediately into weapon specialization, that's perfectly fine. Weapon training bows. Yeah. Yeah. What are other choices? We are only level 5, so we don't have like improved critical or anything like that yet. Yeah. These are the obvious choices. You're not gonna go for fucking like double weapons for your weapon training, right? That's just not gonna happen. There's many shot. Okay. So here we got clustered shots, hammer the gap, which I don't like. Many shot, point blank master, which I don't like. Stab shot that I don't like. So like many shot and cluster shots are like the only two. And there is definitely an argument to be made at level 6. Maybe not at level 6. But like very, very soon. If we don't have clustered shots, I'm going to start getting upset. Because we are going to start running into people that have DR and clustered shots. As soon as you start running into people that have DR, cluster shot just saves you, just gives you so much extra damage, right? Because you're just ignoring your the opponent's DR, except for like basically just the first hit, right? All right. Oh wait, is it not? Is it going to force me all the way through? It is going to force me all the way through. No, maybe not. We take cleaving shot first. She's already better than Lan. Actually, she's like actually a really good archer at this point. She's actually like a really fucking good archer right now. And as like honestly, I would say that she actually does just do a better job than Lan does as an archer. All right, why am I getting all of my mythics? All right. We do get Point Blank Master here, which I'm not a huge fan of. I would much rather have cluster shots. As I said, if we don't start seeing cluster shots very, very soon, I'm gonna get upset. But I can wait. But like also, we're gonna get access to improved critical at level 8. I would have liked to have had clustered shots now, because by level 9 we're gonna be balls deep in Dresden, and there's a lot of demons in Dresden that have DR. So I would much rather have, or even after Dresden. You might even be after Dresden at level 9. Because at level 7 they're expecting you to be at the Lost Chapel. Right, because that's when it unlocks Mythic 2 in the respec. So I would have preferred clustered shots now. Point Blank Master can wait until 9, honestly. Like, it's not a big fucking problem. Like, this isn't a big deal. If you're playing if you're playing the game correctly, you're not going to be in melee range very often, which means that this does not benefit you in the vast majority of your gameplay. So taking this early is a bit of a waste. It's kind of the first like misstep, I would say, in this honestly, if she picks Mythic Deadly Aim at Mythic 2, she does. We did get a sneak preview, and she does do that. So here, let's pop out of this. Yeah, see, Deadly Aim Mythic at Mythic rank 2. This is a very, very, very strong. Now, okay, here's the thing. There is an argument to be made to take Rapid Shot Mythic over Deadly Aim Mythic, because Rapid Shot Mythic gives you a +2 to all of your attacks. As long as you have Rapid Shot activated, Rapid Shot Mythic gives you a +2 to every attack. Because it just negates the attack penalty from Rapid Shot, right? Whereas Deadly Aim does give you extra damage, but we are also relatively low level still, so the extra damage isn't that much. I guess we are about to get an extra, but that would only be an extra +2 or +3, right? Yeah, so we would be missing out on a +3 to damage for every attack. If we don't take Deadly Aim Mythic. So yeah, it basically just comes down to, are you hitting or not? If not, Rapid Shot Mythic. If yes, Deadly Aim Mythic, right? But they're both very, very valid. I would probably take Deadly Aim Mythic at 4 and take Rapid Shot Mythic at 2, but they're both very good. They're both perfectly fine choices. All right. We're gonna hold off until level 9 there. We get greater weapon focus longbow. That's you want that instead of improved critical. And the fact that we don't have clustered shots yet is starting to bug me quite a bit. Because yeah, now that we have greater weapon focus, yeah, that's another +1 to hit. Hi kitten, what's up, buddy? I knew you were gonna come over. Obligatory kill Kaelessa for +3 bow to ignore DR. I have never once killed Kaelessa, so I did not know that that was even a thing. bow's hard to replace until like Act 3. That's fair. That's fair. I didn't even know that it existed, so I had absolutely no opinions on it until this moment right now. But yeah, a +3 that ignores DR is really fucking good. That would negate the need for clustered shots. For sure. And honestly, a bow that ignores DR is like actually just really hard to replace. Period. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of taking greater weapon focus here. It's just oh, it's just a +3 to get past most DRs. I gotcha. I get what you're talking about. Yeah, because that +3 is it gets rid of magic and also it's like iron and silver, or cold iron and silver, I think. Because then +4 is adamantine and +5 is alignment. I remember for sure. And I don't think +2 actually does anything. I think it's +1, 3, 4, and 5 that all get past different types of DR. +2 is boring. But yeah, all right. Greater weapon focus. It's still a good feat. I would just okay. Never mind. We got it. Never mind. We got there. I'm happy now. We do get crossbows as our next one, but we continue boosting up bows, which that's fine. I think that literally. Actually, I would probably take train initiative. I steal the keys. I steal the keys from my kid. Train initiative is really good. Armed bravery is also really good because we have a low will save, right? Yeah, look at this. A +4. Adding our bravery bonus to all of our will saves would be really, really nice defensively. But if we're talking about biggest offensive boost, I think train initiative is the best one here. Like fighters tactics could also be really good if you do not have a whole lot of people to take teamwork feats with for whatever reason, and if you're also taking teamwork feats on the fighter, which we're not going to, because this is an auto build. Hi. You want to say hi to the camera? Legendary crossbow? Yeah. Why? Claws in neck. Claws actually in neck. Don't do that. Why weapon trading with both? Because fuck it. Yeah, there's definitely other choices here that would be objectively better than crossbows. Crossbows don't really give us fucking anything, really. Yeah, trade initiative, fighters tactics, if you're not doing an auto build, armed bravery, fighters reflexes even. I'm gonna put you out. Fucking goddamn it with your claws in my flesh. Yeah, all of these would be much better. But we are still boosting up our bows, so that's fine. And then I believe this is when we would gain access to Mythic Rank 3. So this is when we get the bigger they are. Would you just... I don't know what the hell it is that you're doing here, kitten. Do we want the bigger they are? We're not really running into that many huge characters. I feel like if you're looking at trying to hit more consistently, ranging shots is the better feat here. The bigger they are, is it doesn't really help that much. At least they took Cleaving Shot. This is true. You could also take something like distracting shots. Even though that's only a -1 right now. Sorry. You could take rupture restraints. If you're looking for a defensive option. Obviously a good choice is always abundant casting on your fighters. For all of the spells that they have. One person would actually take me seriously when I say that. That's all I want. I want one person to take me seriously for a few seconds while I tell them to take abundant casting on a fighter. I don't like okay, so again, I'm not a huge fan of exposed vulnerability, but only because of the only because of the difficulties that you're going to be playing on when you're using auto builds. People just aren't going to live long enough for exposed vulnerability to do anything. Hi. You are all over the place right now. You know that? And I need you to calm down. But the bigger they are is fine. It's like one of the 3 that I usually grab. Like, guaranteed for my archers. I usually grab cleaving shot, ranging shots, the bigger they are, and then I kind of go from there. Alright, so I did just see another thing that I like. I just saw something that I really hate. Why would we take Hammer the Gap over Improve Critical? That's really fucking dumb. I kind of really hate this. Although, like, what the fuck? He jumps up and then jumps down immediately. Yeah, so Hammer the Gap, if you're playing as a ranged character, you do get a fair number of hits. Because you got Rapid Shot that gives you an extra 1. You got Multi-Shot that gives you an extra 1. So that's an extra 2, plus Haste gives you an extra 3. I really hate Hammer the Gap. I've gone over it over and over and over and over again, but it boosts the damage of the attacks that are least likely to hit. Hi again. I need you to figure out what the fuck you want to do with your life, kitten. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I would much prefer Improved Critical here. Yeah, you scared me. No, I'm always I will periodically try to devil's advocate, but I will always be against Hammer the Gap, except for in very, very specific builds. Natural attack builds specifically. Natural attack builds are basically the only ones that I will ever really push for Hammer the Gap on. But at level 11 we get Improved Critical. Yay, we did it. We got there, we did the thing that I want them to do. I am perfectly fine with this. I'm very curious as to where we go from here. Because at this point, we basically have all of the feats that I would recommend having. So I'm very curious as to where we go now. But I do believe that it is time for another mythic ability. So we get Rapid Shot Mythic. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, I feel like these two should be swapped. Ah, you were delayed. That'll happen sometimes. I would say that these should most likely be swapped. Rapid Shot at 2, Deadly Aim at 3, or at 4, sorry. But I'm very, very fine with both of them. The feats that I would like to see Weapon Focus Mythic. This is like one of the only builds, the only times that I would actually like to see Weapon Focus Mythic. Because it gives us an extra +2 to our attack. The only time I would ever recommend weapon focus mythic is when you have both weapon focus and greater weapon focus. If you don't have both of them, weapon focus mythic is kind of a waste. But if you do, I would say that it's not terrible. Weapon specialization mythic is... Oh, you were talking about oh yeah, that was a minute ago. Yeah, that was a minute ago. Yeah, abundant casting, not great for people that don't actually have spell slots, weirdly enough. Weapon specialization mythic is also very, very good. Gives you a damage bonus equal to half your mythic rank. But that's one that I would take at like 8 or 10. I would not take that super low because, you know, it's based on your mythic rank. It scales with it. So like at lower ones, you want something that just gives you a flat bonus, right? And then at the higher ones, you want something that scales with mythic level. So I think what I would like to see is something like weapon focus mythic, weapon specialization mythic, and then either improved critical or point blank shot mythic. I'm kind of leaning towards improved critical mythic, even though it is only a 19 to 20 crit range weapon, even with improved critical. Although point blank shot mythic is going to give you more damage on a more consistent basis. I just really like the thought of a ×4 crit bow. All right. Now we get greater weapon specialization. Yay, we did it. I wasn't actually sure. So I never play with fighters or people that gain access to fighter feats, basically ever. So I wasn't actually sure if greater weapon specialization, I couldn't even remember if this was in the game. I completely forgot that this was like the improved one was in the game. So yeah, duh. If this is available to you, fucking take it, because it's really good. Just gives you extra damage. Iron Will, like at this point, normally I would talk shit on taking one of these, but as I mentioned, we're kind of out of a lot, not all, but we're kind of out of a lot of the feats that I really care about. So we can now start going into other ones to kind of shore up some of our weaknesses. And our will save is definitely one of our weaknesses. So taking Iron Will is a good choice, I would say. For a defensive thing, like we do still have things like improved initiative. I don't really care about improved precise shot, especially at the level that we're getting to. We're starting to get to the point where we're just going to have True Seeing Communal on. So improved precise shot is kind of useless. I'm far more worried about getting hit with spells than with just attacks. So something like dodge or anything like that, I'm not overly worried about. I'd rather not see something like that. Honestly, I wouldn't even really care if we got toughness at this point. Like this is what I was talking about earlier. This build is going to be a very easy build for me to be okay with because there's just so many feats to be taken. It's almost impossible for them to not take the feats that are necessary, and they already have. Like, we've already taken everything that I really care about. Yeah, I would like to see improved initiative. And I do think that it would be bad if they don't give us improved initiative. But, like, to be a viable... Like, this build... I honestly think that you could take this build into, like... unfair. Honestly. Like, this build is just a really... Like, it's just a very solid, a very good archer build. And everything else is just gravy. Also, we get trained initiative. Shatter defenses or outflank feet line with fighters tactics. Yeah, you could do stuff like that. I so going back to my caveats, I would say that this is probably the best build. What the hell? I'm bleeding. Why am I bleeding? Apparently I scratched a fucking thing that really didn't want to be scratched. Huh. Okay. That's weird. But yeah, every caveat, every time I'm talking about how good one of these builds is, I'm discounting the fact that teamwork feats even exist. Because I know that they're never going to take them. I know that they're never going to take a teamwork feat unless it's something like a Cavalier where the class demands you to take, like, demands that you take one. You know what? We're just gonna close this because I don't need it. We're just gonna bring that over there. There we go. All right. Trigger on their own. Yeah, it would be nice if we see fighters tactics, and like, who the fuck knows, maybe. But I would be very surprised. The sacrifice of blood has been paid. Yeah. Yeah, apparently I had a scab there. Did not know. Had no idea. So yeah, this level I'm perfectly fine with. We got trained initiative. This was one of the like 3 that I was like I would really like to see. I would still like to see armed bravery. Even though we do have iron will. This is one of those ones where I would say, yeah, doubling and tripling down on will saves is going to be really good. Especially since she's going to be doing so much damage with the build that she has right now. You really don't want to see her getting confused at all, right? Like, the instant this character starts attacking your party, you're fucked. Everybody dies. So you want to get that will save up. Now we get improved precise shot. It's okay. It's okay. Like I mentioned last time, we are getting to the point where we're going to have True Sync Communal. If we don't have it yet, I can't remember what spell level it is. It's either 6 or 7. If you don't have it yet, you're going to be getting it very, very soon. And that kind of makes improved precise shot redundant. So I don't really want to see this, but for whatever reason, if you don't have somebody in your party to cast that spell, and by that I mean you literally have no spellcasters in your party somehow, I guess improved precise shot is fine. Honestly, actually, I didn't even realize that penetrating strike existed. Penetrating strike is less important because we have clustered shots. But I mean, ignoring an extra, this is basically a +5 to damage on your first hit, right? So this is actually a good chunk of damage extra. So this feat's actually really nice. I would like to see it at some point. There's improved initiative. All right. I think after this, we're going to go and we're going to catch up to like Mythic rank 7. So we're going to go do that real quick. I saw a critical focus. I'm actually kind of okay with critical focus right now. It's not that big of a deal. We have enough feats even to go up through crit mastery at this point. And I would be perfectly fine with it. But yeah, Rupture Restraints. This is one of my favorite mythic abilities. I am very, very happy with getting this. I would like to see ranging shots at some point, and we're kind of getting to the point where I would like to see it either now or at Mythic rank 7. I really, really hope that we get this at 7. There's not really anything else that I really want to see. It's literally just Rupture Restraints, ranging shots, and then maybe something like Expose Vulnerability or something, or distracting shots. I feel like they're probably going to go with distracting shots. But I would be okay with exposed vulnerability. So there's point blank shot mythic. Of the mythic feats that we have access to, I think that this is the least important of the ones that I would take. Oh, we actually have improved initiative mythic that we can take now. I think that actually pushes point blank shot mythic out of the running. I would like to get weapon focus mythic, weapon specialization mythic, and improved initiative mythic. I think that these are the three that would be the best for us to take. Point blank shot is probably either number 4 or number 5. Improved critical mythic and point blank shot mythic are like really close together in my eyes. I think point blank shot mythic just barely edges out over improved critical, but that's simply due to consistency. I think if we were using a crossbow instead of a longbow, improved critical mythic would be better, simply because of the extended crit range of crossbows. But yeah, I think I'm not a huge fan of this point blank shot mythic. It's still okay. No, I'm gonna say it's kind of bad. I'm gonna say of the choices that we have, it's kind of bad. It gives us a +1 to attack and a +1 to damage. It's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Exposed vulnerability. All right, so I was wondering if we were gonna get this. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of this because at this point in the game, how often are you going to get this to actually trigger? Or not even at this point. At any point in the game, how often is this going to actually trigger? It's going to do an extra 3d6 damage every 3 hits on the same character. How often are they going to survive 3 hits? Just in general. I don't think it basically happens at all. I don't think that it's very common whatsoever for them to survive 3 hits at a low enough difficulty where you're going to be using auto builds. It just doesn't happen very often. So I'm not a fan of that one. All right. We're going to go back to this. I'm just going to go up to 20, and then we're going to go and finish the rest of the mythics. So yeah, as I mentioned, we're going with critical focus mythic. Actually, okay, so I mentioned that I would be okay if we even went up to crit mastery. I actually think that I disagree with my prior statement. I think that that's kind of stupid. Is it? What else can we take? What else is available? We could take improved or greater Iron Will. Whatever the fuck. Wait. Oh, this is a bonus feat. Never mind. This is a bonus combat feat, so we are very, very limited. I would actually probably take Penetrating Strike before I would take Critical Mastery, or Critical Focus, sorry. We are a full BAB class with a very high dex. And, you know, once we get belts on her or anything like that, that dex is going to climb even higher. So she's going to have a very, very high attack bonus. So is this +4 really going to matter that much? I feel like we're going to be hitting our crits anytime we actually get, like, the bottleneck of critical hits is not going to be our attack bonus, right? It's going to be the 10% chance to actually hit that 19 or 20 to initiate the crit in general. So yeah, critical focus, and I know that this unlocks all of these. I feel like going down this tree is a bit too much of an investment into something that is just not going to have too great of a return. I think penetrating strike would be a better choice here. Great fortitude. This one I actually disagree with. Our fort save is pretty damn good. I would have much preferred to see, like I said, improved Iron Will to boost up that will save even higher. If we are going to take the critical focus, get Sickening Critical. Honestly, of all of them, I think Sickening Critical is the best of the initial 4 that we have access to. Yeah, because we have access to Blinding, Sickening, Staggering, and Tiring. Of those 4, Sickening is the best. So I would have chosen Sickening Critical here over Great Fortitude if we're gonna go and do the critical focus thing. Fighter's Reflexes, unnecessary, completely unnecessary. We have a very high dex, so our reflex save is going to be really fucking good. Come on, show me the thing. So yeah, we have a +3. Yeah, we had a 12. Like, both our fort and our reflex save were at 12, +12, before we got to this level, or maybe a +11. But regardless, I don't think that either of these two are necessary. I feel like I honestly think that doubling down on will saves here would probably have been the best bet. Improved Iron Will, Armed Bravery, just get that will save as high as possible on this character. So that we can absolutely fucking guarantee that we're not going to be attacking our party members. We get Tiring Critical. Tiring is the second best of the critical feats. Hi again. Jesus Christ, kitten. You're just up and down all over the place today, huh? So yeah, of all of the feats, Tiring Critical is the second best. If we're going for Exhausting is by far better than any of the others. And obviously you need to take Tiring before you can take Exhausting. So we could go for that. But again, that's investing a lot into a 19 to 20 crit range weapon. Improved Iron Will, I'm fine with that. With this build, with as many feats as we got, I'm perfectly fine with taking Improved Iron Will here. I'm so happy we haven't seen Snapshot yet. I'm so fucking happy that we haven't seen that. Hey, and we do get Penetrating Strike. We do get that at level 20. All right, cool. I like it. We do end up with a 25 dex, which is unfortunate. We could have put that into our charisma to get us a -2 to all of our charisma rolls. It's unfortunate that we wasted it on a 25 dex. Missed opportunity. We do get Penetrating Strike. That, like I said, that's a +5 to damage on the first hit of every round against a new enemy. So yeah, I would say if we're looking at strictly the feat build that we have, we got every feat that I was looking for. The only thing that I would have preferred is, instead of Fighter's Reflexes, I would have preferred the one, was it Armed Bravery, where it applies our Bravery will bonus to all will saves. I would have preferred that over Fighter's Reflexes. But beyond that, and this is accepting that we're not taking Teamwork feats, I'm actually really fucking happy with this build. Like, there's not really a whole lot of wasted stuff here, despite the fact that we have nearly twice as many feats as we normally do. Yeah, we have Hammer the Gap. That's fine with this many feats. It is a little bit... I would have preferred to get it later, so that we can front load things like improved critical, greater weapon specialization, stuff like that. Improved precise shot, I feel, is kind of a waste, but it's not... I feel... Well, not a waste. I feel like it's a bit redundant if you have somebody to cast True Sight Communal, which almost every party is going to, but just in case you don't, this is good. And then you got critical focus, you get tiring critical, which, like I said, tiring critical is the second best one. I would have preferred sickening here over tiring, but it's fine. This is perfectly fine. As I mentioned, Iron Will and improved Iron Will I'm very happy with on a fighter. Our will save is probably the biggest weakness that a fighter is going to have. So getting that boosted will save is pretty damn important. I am HO. So yeah, let's take a look at this. We got Weapon Focus Mythic. Of the three between Improved Initiative, Weapon Specialization, and Weapon Focus Mythics, I think Weapon Focus is the least important. So again, I probably would have taken either of the other two instead of this one. This is only a +2 to attack, whereas Weapon Specialization Mythic is currently a +4 to damage, and Improved Initiative Mythic is a +4 or a +8. It's equal to your Mythic rank. So that would be a +8 to our initiative if we got Improved Initiative Mythic. That's insane. Then we get Distracting Shots, which I kind of expected. I would have preferred Ranging Shots over Exposed Vulnerability or Distracting Shots. I would have probably done it over Exposed Vulnerability. But then again, as I mentioned, we are going to be hitting very often on these lower difficulties with this build. So, especially with Weapon Focus Mythic. So maybe Ranging Shots isn't necessarily required. But I'd still think that it would be a better choice than Exposed Vulnerability. And then Mythic 10, Improved Critical Mythic. Again, I would have preferred either Initiative or Weapon Specialization. But, yeah, and it is, so this, two things. One, this does get us up to a ×5 crit multiplier. So if you do actually land that crit, or when you do land that crit, you're going to be doing an absolute buttload of damage. Going to be incredibly, like, you're gonna murder. You're gonna absolutely kill the person that you hit with a crit, like, bar none except for potentially maybe like end of fucking chapter bosses, right? Like, a Discari and a Rilu might survive a crit from these bows. Obviously depending on how you roll for damage, but yeah, a crit from these bows is going to be absolutely terrifying. However, Weapon Specialization Mythic is going to be giving you more consistent damage. Improved Initiative Mythic will allow you to get that damage out. Excuse me. Before the enemies can attack. I think that Improved Critical Mythic is a mistake, but the fact that I'm having to he and haw so much about these means that there are arguments to be made for these choices. It's not like most of the other auto builds where I'm like, oh, this is shit. There isn't really a single choice made in this build that I objectively disagree with. Like, just not objectively, that's the wrong word. Just fundamentally disagree with. And just say this should never be in this build. I feel like there could be improvements, but overall, I think that this build is... It's easily the best auto build I think that we've seen. And especially when considering the other fighter builds that we saw. We've seen them fuck up fighter builds, actually. We have actually seen them fuck up fighter builds. And they did not do that here. This build, every choice here was pretty consistently just pretty alright. I just realized that I did not have live chat turned on. Alright, so nobody sent messages since the last time I saw something. I hate that by the way, I hate that YouTube defaults to top chat instead of live chat. I despise that. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But yeah, that's Wendu. Wendu is like easily the best build that I think we've seen. I do not see how any other build could compare to this one. It's just really fucking good. And yeah, with that, we leave. We leave this particular... Oh, wait. No, I don't need to do that. I just need to go to load game. And... not that one. Where is... Oh, wait. No, is it Vin? Yeah, it is. Okay. All right. So that was Wendu, and we got him done. We got her done in 1 hour. Can we keep up that pace? Can we keep up the pace of 1 build per hour? And actually make it through all 3 of these today? Maybe. Maybe. But a lot of that was just, oh yeah, this is just a good choice. Oh yeah, this is also just a good choice. Oh yeah, this is also just a really good choice. I feel like that's not going to be as true. Oh, I remember the schizophrenia that is Woljif's build. It's fucking dumb as hell. So we're gonna fucking have some fun with this one. Where you at? There you are. Respec. All right. So first and foremost, we start him off at level 4 or level 3. Sorry. So Dex and Intelligence makes sense based on his class. -2 to Charisma. Nobody cares about that. +2 on Persuasion and Stealth. Stealth is really good. Resist Energy means nothing. We got the Pickpocket background, so we're good on the best background in the game. Start off with Weapon Finesse. Got Trap Finding. Sneak Attack. And we start off with 2 Weapon Fighting at level 1 and Double Slice at level 3. And then we get Finesse Training Dagger. So that's what we start with. That's what we start with. Let's take a look at these. Interesting. Interesting. So Strength of 10. I would have actually liked to see a Strength of 7 here. There's really no point to have a default strength on a rogue. You could drop this to 7 and be perfectly fine. The only time that this is a detriment is from level 1 to 1 and 2 before you get fucking finesse training. Since we start this character off at level 3, you don't ever have to deal with those first 2 levels where he's really, really weak in damage. So you could have dropped his strength to 7 and been perfectly fine. Same with charisma. You could have dropped that. You could have dropped charisma all the way down to 5, but they actually put 2 points into charisma to get it back up to 10. Despite the fact that I'm fairly certain that they don't use his charisma on literally anything in the game. You could have used those extra build points to build up his wisdom, to help with like perception checks or something like that. Build up his con to make him a bit tankier, give him a better health pool. There are definitely things that could have been done here to optimize his stats a bit. We also started off with a 20 dex, meaning that we will have an odd number of, this is another build that will end up with a 25 dex, just like Wendu's did. So yeah, the stats, I'm not as big a fan of this stat spread as I was with Wendu's. Wendu's was much better. This one is could definitely be tweaked to make it quite a bit better. Actual skills being used, we have UMD, which is perception. Would have been better with a higher wisdom, but that's fine. I guess the wisdom doesn't really help that much because we are going to have trap finding, which is just going to scale past the point where wisdom is really that big of a deal. And then stealth, trickery, and mobility, all of these are really good. It's like, you're going to be hard pressed to find somebody that's better at these than Woljif, right? It's just not going to happen. And then the spells. All right, so let's take a look at what we got for spells. Grease is just a really fucking good level 1 spell. Mage armor is also incredibly powerful, especially since you're never ever going to want to have actual armor on this guy ever, because his dex gets so high so very quickly that you're going to be limiting the amount of AC you're getting by putting armor on him. So getting mage armor is just incredibly strong. I would also like to see shield. I don't think that he has access to that in this spell list, which is one of the reasons that I go over to Vivisectionist with him. Vivisectionist does have access to shield as one of its spells. And also mage armor, if you combo this with archmage armor, it's just insanely good. Woljif was actually one of the tankiest people, the hardest to hit people in my party when I built him as a Vivisectionist. The buff spells that he gets are just so goddamn good. So yeah, mage armor, grease is really good. None of the rest of these really matter, honestly. Magic missile is snowball is burning hands if you have AoE that you need, but like none of these are like really that great. It's basically just grease and mage armor are really, really fucking good. And then at level 2 you get invisibility and mirror image. These are both very good. Especially mirror image here. Very, very good defensive, like one of the best defensive spells that you're gonna get. And then yeah, these are the injuries that we were talking about at the beginning, going rogue for VV16 for this guy. And yeah, you just get the -2 penalty to AC, and there you are, you're just done. So yeah. Well, oh, that's actually something that we didn't see last time. Of all of the feats that Wendu got, Wendu never got toughness. And yet here we are with toughness at level 5 on fucking Woljif, who has so many other feats that he could be taking right now. One of them being fucking weapon focus. Or Piranha Strike. Yeah, we don't have Piranha Strike either. So yeah, we got toughness now. I'm not a fan of that, especially only at level 5. It's kind of shit. We get Acid Arrow and Scorching Ray. So here's the problem with Woljif's build. Woljif's build And we'll see this as we get into the mythic side of things. Woljif's build tries to focus on so many things, especially, like I said, on the mythic side, that it kind of just falls apart. He like goes full on. We'll get into it as we continue. We'll look at it more. But yeah, we got Scorching Ray and Acid Arrow or whatever the fuck it is as level 2 spells. Yeah, before we got Cat's Grace. So we got 2 Ray spells before we got Cat's Grace as a melee character. Honestly, he should have Blur at this point. Like protection from alignment would be Sense Vitals is useless on him, so we don't have to worry about that. But like, I don't know, man. It feels so weird to have Burning Arc, Acid Arrow, and Scorching Ray on this character, but not Blur. That's so weird. Why are we taking all of these offensive spells on this person who's built to be a stabby man? We have no feats for spells whatsoever. 0 spell feats. Don't have point blank shot, don't have precise shot. So these Ray spells are going to be taking a -4 to hit. And if you take in consideration that we also don't have the +1, it's basically a -5 to hit for these Ray spells. Like, why? Why would you ever use any of them? And then we get Abundant Casting at level 1. Which I'm not overly sad about. Because, like, the more times you can cast Mirror Image, the better. Because Mirror Image is never going to last as long as its actual duration, right? You're going to be hit... Well, maybe not. But a lot of times, you're going to run out of the images before the actual duration of the spell wears off. So being able to cast that more often is really useful. A lot of the level 3 spells aren't really that great for him. So I actually use him as my haste bot a lot of the time. So being able to get more hastes on this character is actually really useful as well. Why did my chat... What the hell just happened? Okay. That was weird. My chat box on OBS just fucking vanished for a second. Everything's fine. So yeah, I'm not I'm not hugely against abundant casting on this character. But as I mentioned, there's a lot of spell abilities picked on his mythic ability side. I'm pretty sure he goes into like improved abundant casting. I don't know if he's a level 9 spellcaster. If he is, I think it goes into greater abundant like I'm pretty sure this build gets abundant casting for every spell level that he has, and that's not necessary. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right, and here we go. We got combat casting here. For all of these spells that we're going to be casting in melee range of other people. Which I fucking hate. This is really stupid. You should not be taking this. Like, combat reflexes would be insanely good on him. Especially if we have something like Outflank or Seize the Moment or something like that. We still don't have Piranha Strike. We still don't have Weapon Focus. But we have combat casting so that we can cast fucking Scorching Ray at a -5 to hit. Sorry. At a -5 to hit? That doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. However, things that do really make sense and that I do like a lot, we start this off with haste and heroism. Potentially the two best level 3 spells that he can get. Hi again, kitten. Um, I got you. I got you. So yeah, we got haste and heroism, two of the best level 3 spells. We also have greater magic weapon that I would like to see, displacement, maybe even dispel magic. Beyond that, I don't really care about any of the other level 3 spells for him. Like, yes, resist energy communal is a thing, but we have other people that could cast that. I don't think that we need to get that on him specifically. Why is saving throw just locked on my screen? There we go. So yeah, I would like to see greater magic weapon. I would like to see displacement. I would like to see dispel magic. If I get those three, and also these two, I'm a happy guy. All right. Then we get 2-weapon fighting mythic. We are a 2-weapon fighter, so 2-weapon fighting mythic is basically required. Gets rid of that pesky -2 to all attacks. And yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that. I approve. Mm. There's also not really that many other things for us to take at this point. We do have finesse training, so weapon finesse mythic is not useful really. It does allow us to have it allows us to have more options, but we can get those options as we continue on leveling up. We can, you get finesse training with other weapons. Mythic Sneak Attacker is another option that we could get, an additional 1d6, but the 2-weapon fighting mythic is easily the best choice. Easily the best choice that we have access to right now. All right. We got weapon focus daggers, so we finally got weapon focus. That's good. Would I have taken that over something like focusing attack confused? Probably not. I don't really like using a rogue talent just to get weapon focus, especially when there are still some, because like, okay, here's the thing. There's not really a whole lot of really good rogue talents, but we are taking perception, so Canny Observer could be useful. Focusing attack confused could also be useful for us. It would allow us to not murder our party members. I think that this is very important to take on anybody that has sneak attack damage, because if you, like, say you turn around as Woljif and you attack Ember, she's fucking dead. Like, 2 hits, maybe 3, and Ember is fucking dead. So you really want to get focusing attack confused, just so that you don't have to worry about that. We do get Dispel Magic, which is good. We get Lightning Bolt, which is not. I would like to see Greater Magic Weapon or Displacement instead. Not a huge fan of this. I would prefer to not see it. But I do like Dispel Magic. That's a good one. And then here we go. We get improved 2-weapon fighting. This I approve of. More attacks is always better. Oh yeah, we don't have Piranha Strike yet. The fact that we don't have Piranha Strike yet, that's pretty bad. We're now level 9 and we don't have that extra damage. I would actually say that Piranha Strike is a higher priority than improved 2-weapon fighting. We lose out on an attack, but it's an attack that's at a -5. Whereas Piranha Strike boosts up the damage of the attacks that we already have. So yeah, I would definitely say that Piranha Strike Mythic, or Piranha Strike period, is better. We did get displacement, which I like. We also got slow, which I don't. We don't have any feats or any part of our build that boosts up the save DCs. Probably better, like having obnoxious amounts of attacks. Yeah, for sure. It feels really fucking good to have a ton of attacks. But yeah, if we're talking about strictly which is going to dish out more damage on average, Piranha Strike is gonna win out. But yeah, if we're talking about slow's pretty shit. You really want to limit how many offensive spells you have on this guy, because we don't have enough feats to hi. What are you looking at? Oh, do you see yourself on the fucking monitor? Is that what that was? Did you see yourself on the computer? Hmm? Um, yeah, we don't have spell focus. We don't have spell penetration. We got nothing to help slow actually land and stick to anybody. Which is not great. Not great. Gotta be honest. Enduring spells. How many of our spells does this actually help? Mage armor, which at this level is basically eternal anyway. You just need to lay your head down. You just need to lay your head down. You got your head. Your eyes are like all closed up. Put your head down. Go to sleep. Take a nap. Cat is demanding all of the attention today. So yeah, enduring spells by itself isn't really that useful. I'm assuming they're gonna go for greater, which is actually like really, really good. But for right now, we're not really seeing anything super useful here. All right, what do we get? We got confusion, which is useless, and we got greater invisibility, which is incredibly good. What do you do? Get down. All right. Yeah, greater invisibility is probably the best level 4 spell that he can get. What other level 4s could be useful for him? There's not really that many, huh? Level 4 is like either a really, really good spell level or basically completely useless. Dimension Door could be useful for people that use it more. It is also obviously incredibly good in Illusionira to help you navigate that place and get to certain areas that you couldn't get to otherwise. Animal Aspect is actually really, really good. Primarily because it is a polymorph effect. This is the so none of these things down here really matter that much for Woljif. Trickery and stealth could be useful. Yes, I would probably use the raccoon on this. The main thing that makes this an incredibly strong spell is this word right here. It's a polymorph effect. And the reason that that's really, really good is because if you combo this with the mythic ability, Master Shapeshifter, you just get a +4 to all of your fucking physical stats whenever you're under a polymorph effect. So if you use Animal Aspect or Animal Aspect Greater, and then you have that mythic ability, you have a free +4 to all physical stats. It's incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. And since this spell doesn't really come with a downside, there's no reason not to keep this up at all times. Whatsoever. But we don't have it. We have greater invisibility and confusion. I would have 1000% have taken Animal Aspect Greater over confusion. Absolutely no hesitation whatsoever. Improved critical dagger. Yep, that makes sense. Finesse training short sword. That does not. I don't know why we're not taking finesse training rapier or something along those lines. Honestly, I would have liked to have seen, I mean, hell, even Estoc, Elven Curve Blade, Dueling Sword, like any of these would have been really good. Granted, they all require exotic weapon proficiency, but you know, we could deal with that. We could deal with that. But yeah, finesse training short sword, that's a really odd choice. I don't remember there being too many short swords that are like that fucking useful. So it's not like there's like a really good short sword that just makes this such a good choice. Well, I guess you know what, we're making pretty good time. We're making pretty good time. I could pop open the Googles. Apparently my caps lock is on. The fuck? That's terrible. Nullifying short sword attacks. What is nullifying? Whenever the wielder of this +5 necrotic nullifying short sword attacks a new enemy for the first time, enemy must pass a will saving throw DC 31. That's actually really high. Or become unable to cast spells for 2 rounds. I don't know what nullifying means. Reflex save becomes covered in emeralds for 5 minutes. Suffer minus penalty reflex saving throw. All critical hits against the creature deal additional 3d6 piercing. Multiple applications don't stack. Why 5 minutes? What fight in any of these games lasts for 5 minutes? Put this back up here. That's okay, sure. Glowing with an invisible flame deals 1d6 holy damage once per day. Charge a weapon in another hand with the same flame for 10 minutes. While you wield these 2 weapons, each hit with any of them increase the unholy damage by 1, stacking up to 15 until the end of combat. Yeah, none of these are really that great. None of these are that great. So yeah, finesse training short sword, a really weird choice. I would have gone with something like a rapier for the extended crit range. Or like an Estoc. Any of these honestly would have worked as well. Level 4 spells. We have now Shout and Enervation. Enervation is a ray attack, which means point blank shot and precise shot is necessary to really make use of it consistently. Shout requires a save, which means that we would like to have save boost or save DC boosting feats, which we don't have. So these are both basically useless, same as confusion. Like, this is the problem that I have with Woljif. Woljif takes so many offensive spells while having absolutely nothing that supports those spells. none of the it's insane how little support he gets for his spells while taking almost exclusively offensive spells. Like, all 3 out of the 4 spells that he gets at level 4 are offensive. Now, granted, you could just prepare nothing but greater invisibility in your level 4 spell slots, and I would recommend that if you're doing this, because greater invisibility is going to get you more than any of these other spells, period. But like lightning bolt is useless, slow is really bad for him, acid arrow, burning arc, scorching ray, like half of the level 2 spells, a third of the level 3 spells, 75% of our level 4 spells so far, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, like, granted, you're gonna have a lot of level 1 spells, and we do have grease and mage armor, and despite the fact that, you know, grease only has a DC of 15, apparently. I think it's still worth it sometimes to just toss down, especially early game. Early game grease is absolutely fucking busted. But yeah, like, almost so many of his spells require either a ranged touch attack, which requires point blank shot and precise shot to not be taking a -5 to hit, or they require a save DC, in which case you would want to have something like fuck it, spell focus. I don't know why that was so difficult for my brain to catch up to, but yeah, you would want spell focus or spell penetration or something along those lines. And honestly, you would probably want spell penetration for things like scorching ray as well. So yeah, taking all of these offensive spells is just gross. I'm upset. I am upset. Ugh. So we've doubled down on toughness again. Again and again, I would like to point out the fact that the second sentence in this description is fucking useless because of the way the AI works in this game. They ignore your character whenever they go down, so they're not going to continue hitting it, which means that the DR doesn't actually do anything. Should have taken improved critical mythic. Should have taken mythic sneak attacker. I would not weapon finesse or weapon focus. Don't take those. We got crippling strike. I fucking love crippling strike. I love crippling strike. I like doing constant fucking strength damage to people. It's really fucking good. The fact that we got this the instant that we could. Isn't mythic weapon finesse borderline mandatory because no unchained rogue? No. Rogue has finesse training, so as long as we are wielding either daggers or short swords, we get dex to damage. Which means that, yeah, weapon finesse mythic is unnecessary for rogues as long as you're using their finesse training weapons. So I'm perfectly fine with not taking finesse mythic. Crippling strike, really fucking good. Dispelling attack would be another really good choice. As would be, where's it at? Wearying strike. I like wearying strike. I like crippling strike. I like dispelling attack. I think wearying strike is probably the best out of those 3. Or potentially dispelling attack. I think of those 3, crippling strike is probably the least effective, despite the fact that it gives 2 strength damage instead of 1 con damage, like wearying strike. but Wearying Strike kind of whittles away their health at two ends. If you understand my meaning. And by that, I mean, so it lowers their maximum health while also doing flat damage to them, right? Because you're also just hitting them. So you're reducing their max damage, or their max health. You're also doing damage to them, which basically doubles up on the amount of damage that you're doing. And Wearying Strike scales so great in the late game because they have such a high hit die. A lot of the times, especially like the more dangerous enemies, they have such a high hit die that if you drop their con down to the next level, you're doing like 30 extra damage. Wearying Strike is really fucking, I would say, borderline overpowered in late game. But yeah, I like doing stat damage. And this is a consistent source of stat damage. It's also one of the reasons why I really don't like taking Enervation here, is because, oh man, you're doing negative levels. It's like, all right, or I could just hit them a bunch. I'm going to do more stat damage with a full round attack with Crippling Strike than I'm going to do by doing Enervation. I know that they're technically two different things. It's negative levels versus stat damage, but I feel like you would get more done with Crippling Strike. But yeah, as I mentioned, Dispelling Attack is also really, really, really good. Being able to just get free Dispel attempts every time you attack somebody is crazy good. As long as you are not doing magical CC to these other enemies. For example, if you Baleful Polymorph somebody, and then you start attacking them with somebody that has Dispelling Attack can dispel the Polymorph effect on them. So, there can be some anti-synergy, depending on how you build your other characters, but in general, Dispelling Attack is incredibly powerful as well. I also like getting a Familiar, gets you an extra boost to your Perception, which is good on this guy. Also gives you, if you get the Hair Familiar, which is the only one that you should get, allows you to get a boost to your Initiative. There's a couple of others. Improved Evasion, Improved Uncanny Dodge are also really, really, really good. Slippery Mind can be really useful as well. His spells, Phantasmal Killer and Acid Pit, trash and trash. Don't take them. Not on this guy. We get Critical Focus. Okay, we do have Improved Crit. I couldn't remember if we had taken Improved Critical. So we do get Critical Focus. I would say it's better. Oh, we don't have Piranha Strike yet. Never mind, it's trash. Yeah, never mind. We do not have Piranha Strike, therefore Critical Focus is shit. Don't take it before you take Piranha Strike on a Dex character. On a Dex melee character. Don't do it. What else could we take? Vital Strike. Get you some Vital Strike in your life. Wait. We could also take Accomplished Sneak Attacker. We are actually missing out on a couple of levels of Sneak Attack at this point. There's a missing one here, missing one here, missing one here. We're going to be missing one here. So we could take Accomplished... I don't know why it's thumbs down. That's really weird. Huh. You would think that the instant that you are not maxed out on Sneak Attack, so the instant you hit level 5, I would think Accomplished Sneak Attacker would be at the top of this list. Highly recommended, green thumbs up, all that. That's very strange that it's down here in the not recommended section. Strange. Weird. I don't like it. Level 5 is kind of like level 4. There's not really a whole lot. Stoneskin Communal. Vampiric Shadow Shield could be useful. Angelic Aspect? No, I get... Yeah, I remember... This doesn't really do that much for us. You're going to have a deflection bonus to AC that's 2 or higher. You're going to have a resistance bonus on because of your cloak that's 2 or higher. DR5/evil is going to be overcome by every demon on the planet. So that's useless. Acid and cold resistance, if you need those, you could just cast the spell. Natural weapons and any weapons you wield are considered good. So that's like the one good thing here is the good alignment, because that normally requires a +5 weapon. Like literally the only thing that's useful here on Angelic Aspect is the last sentence. Everything else is kind of useless. Yeah, there's really not that many good level 5 spells for her. I mean, I guess Icy Prison is good regardless, as long as you can get past their spell resistance. Icy Prison is just good. Stoneskin Communals are very, very strong. Sorry. It's a very, very strong buff. And yeah, like I said, Vamp Shadow Shield is also... So yeah, I would probably take Stone Skin and Vamp Shadow Shield here. Not Dominate Person and Feeble Mind. Fuck off. Yeah, still no buff spells. Hold Monster and Cloud Kill. Jesus. Cloud Kill, the poison spell that requires a fort save. It's literally only ever going to kill your own people. It's never going to kill the enemy. Because, by the way, we don't have selective spell. We don't have selective spell. So if we cast Cloud Kill and any of our characters are in it, they're going to fucking have to save against it. Although, our save DC isn't that high, so it's not really that big of a fucking danger. But, yeah. Okay, so here's Archmage Armor. I am perfectly fine with this. There's not too many mythic abilities that I really care about. I would like to see greater enduring spells, hopefully at level 7. Because if we literally stop at just enduring spells, we don't get greater enduring spells, I'm going to be absolutely pissed. Because that's idiotic. I would be okay with not getting a improved abundant casting. As I've mentioned, there's not really that many great level 4 or level 5 spells. Although, actually, improved abundant casting would help us get a lot more greater invisibilities. So that would be useful. Yeah, Archmage Armor, that just means that Mage Armor is now a +9 to AC. Right? Because it's equal to your mythic level, is the bonus. We now have greater 2-weapon fighting. We still don't have fucking Piranha Strike. So I kind of fucking hate it. Still don't have combat reflexes on somebody that has like a 18 deck or an 18 dex mod. Lunge could be useful. Accomplished Sneak Attacker could be useful. But greater 2-weapon fighting is fine, I guess. Mind Fog is fucking stupid. Break Enchantment. Break Enchantment could be useful. Break enchantment could be useful. Caster level check 1d20 plus caster level maximum 15. Hey, Matt. Yeah, this is like the reason that I mentioned earlier that his build is very schizophrenic, because he takes so many offensive spells, but he takes no feats or anything that supports those offensive spells. Like he's got Dominate Person, Hold Monster, Feeble Mind, and Mind Fog, and Cloud Kill. Literally none of his level 5 spells are self buffs or buffs of any kind. We do have Break Enchantment here, which is kind of like a support spell, but that's very, very situational. Yeah. 5 out of the 6 level 4 spells are offensive. 2 out of the 6 of level 3, half of our level 2 spells. Like, he gets so many offensive spells, and yet he can't actually really make use of any of them. Yeah, his spells are fucking trash. Weapon Focus Mythic Dagger. This is shit. So the problem with Weapon Focus Mythic for this character, why was I okay with it in the prior build but not okay with here? Because this is literally just a +1 to attack. Weapon Focus Mythic is literally a +1 to attack. It doesn't fucking do anything. Get Improved Critical Mythic, get Mythic Sneak Attacker. This is shit. I hate it. It's fucking stupid. Uncanny Dodge is fine. I'm actually really okay with that. Would it be better to get improved Uncanny Dodge? Wait. What does Uncanny Dodge actually give you? No longer be caught flat-footed, nor does she lose her dex bonus to AC if the attacker is invisible. Still loses dex bonus if immobilized. Character with this ability can still lose dex bonus to AC if an opponent successfully uses the feint action against her. Does feint even exist in Wrath of the Righteous? Already has Uncanny Dodge from a different class, automatically gains improved. Alright. Now, denies another rogue the ability to sneak attack the character by flanking her. This character has at least 4 more rogue left. Okay. Okay, so I mean, you would get... I mean, between Toughness and Toughness Mythic, you would get an extra 80 health. So, like, if you have, like, a Barbarian Cavalier or something like that, like one that has, you know, like, the 2 highest hit die for health classes, and then you get Toughness, you could probably get to, like, 600 health or something crazy like that. Like, your health would be higher than some bosses. I would have preferred something like Wearying Strike. Like I said, Wearying Strike or Dispelling Attack, I think, would be the best two here. Uncanny Dodge isn't terrible. Honestly, it's actually pretty good. Elemental Assessor, now that I'm actually looking at spells, is dog shit. But yeah, Uncanny Dodge is still fine. Can't be caught flat-footed. Doesn't, basically means that she can't, this guy can't be caught flat-footed, so he can't be sneak attacked. Outside of flanking, basically. Flanking is basically the only way that this guy can be, sneak attacked. Elemental Assessor. What should we have instead of this? Fuck it. Cat's Grace Mask could be useful instead of this. Transformation could be useful. I like transformation a lot. Gives him extra BAB, does a whole lot of other stuff. Like, transformation is just really, really fucking good. Obligatory true seeing. I would not take true seeing on him because I would assume that we would get it on somebody else in the party. Like, of the spells that this guy can grab, I would take Greater Heroism and Transformation. Because once you have your buffs up from this guy, you don't want to be casting spells in combat. Regardless of the fact that we have fucking stupid-ass combat casting, despite the fact that we got this bullshit at level 7, you don't actually want to be casting in combat. Because that's stupid for this character. None of your spells are ever going to do more damage than just a full round attack. No spell is going to do more damage from this character than just doing a full round attack. Especially with transformation on. Especially with transformation on. Yeah. Elemental accessory is so good. No. No, it is not. Here's how you elementally assess somebody. You hit the Y button, and then you mouse over the character portrait. There you go. You have elementally assessed that character. Because if you fail the knowledge check, you have not built your party correctly. Outside of some bosses. Some bosses can be a pain in the ass to actually get the check on. But Last Stand. Ugh. I hate this. I hate this because just use Hellfire Ray as no, you don't use Hellfire Ray on Woljif. Not on Woljif. No. Stop it, Afro. Bad. You stab with Woljif. Woljif is for stabbing. But yeah, if you're gonna choose a range touch attack at that spell level, yeah, Hellfire Ray is so much. Like, yes, yes. Forgot that we're not on a Raycaster. That's easily done if you only look at Woljif's spells. But yeah, Last Stand here is shit, and I will tell you why it's shit. It's because if you're taking auto builds, you're going to be on normal difficulty or lower. You're not going to be going on core or unfair or any of these higher difficulties. You're going to be on normal difficulty or less, which means you don't fucking die. You die so rarely on normal difficulty or lower, unless you're going against one of the super bosses, that Last Stand is... No, stop it. No. He should have greater enduring spells by now. The fact that he doesn't is upsetting. Yeah, this is stupid. I'm glad that we have a really bad build, though, because Wendu's was actually really good, and I didn't really have a whole lot to talk about on it. So I'm glad that we have this one, which is just absolute dog shit, that we could just tear into. By the way, we got Sickening Critical. I'm actually really okay with this. I'm actually really, really okay with Sickening Critical, if we're taking a critical feat. However, now that I've said that, I would like to point out a fact. We still don't have Piranha Strike. We're a level 17 rogue, and we don't have Piranha Strike. Why? 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 Why don't we have this yet? It's fucking stupid. We got Dispel Magic Greater and Eye Bite. Cool. We got these two instead of transformation to make your characters so much better at stabbing. Like, I need to talk to the people at Owlcat. Woljif is for stabbing. It's what he does. We can take the spelling strike? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we do get improved critical mythic. That's fine. We have improved crit, like, obviously we're going to be using daggers. We have improved critical for daggers, meaning improved critical mythic is very, very good because we have that 17 to 20 crit range. And there is really, like, because of the fact that we still, to this moment, not have fucking Piranha Strike, there's not really another good mythic feat for us to take. The fact that we don't have Piranha Strike is insane. I hate it. Okay, we finally get greater enduring spells at level 9. I hate this. I hate that this is like one of the last things that we get. It's real dumb. This should be at least at level, like at most at level 7, potentially at level 5. So here's another thing about all the dumb shit that I'm seeing right now. I would like to repeat again. We have no spell penetration. We have no spell focus feats. We have 1 abundant casting. We don't even have improved or greater. We have just normal abundant casting. Now, let's look at our level. Let's look at this. Evocation, Transmutation, Necromancy. Enchantment, 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 Conjuration. Enchantment, Illusion. Evocation, Necromancy, Conjuration. We have offensive spells of literally every type that has offensive spells. I'm pretty sure Abjuration... I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure that Abjuration doesn't have offensive spells. Outside of... Wait, is Banishment offensive? Where's Dismissal? Do we not have either of them? Oh, interesting. We don't have Dismissal. Oh, wait, no, Dismissal is level 5, isn't it? There it is. Okay, yeah. So we do have... Okay, so I'm sorry. We don't have Dismissal or Banishment yet. But Banishment is a level 8 spell. We have offensive spells of every school. We have offensive spells. I mean, literally just on this one. We have an offensive spell of literally every fucking element. So, even if we were to go on this stupid thing where we are using Woljif as an offensive blaster caster, which is insanity, but okay, sure, why not? We're not getting past spell resistance. If we do, we're not going to get past the elemental resistance. I'm sorry. There's another stage in there. We're not going to get past spell resistance, but if we do, we're not going to. They're going to succeed at their saves because their saves are so shit. But even if neither of those things happen, we're not going to get past their elemental resistances because we don't have Ascendant Element. Like, we are missing so many things to make any of these spells work. Even if you take something like Disintegrate or Eye Bite or anything like that. Like, Fortitude. Wait, is this actually just not a save? Is there just not a save for this one? Huh. Not a save for this one. Interesting. And it's not affected by spell resistance. This one's actually... Wait, it does have a DC, though. Why does it not tell you in like the normal? So wait, disintegrate here, saving throw, fortitude reduces damage. I bite. Target must make a successful fort saving throw or suffer the spell's harmful effects. Okay, so it is a fort save. I was gonna say it's a necromancy spell. Most necromancies are fort saves. Why is the formatting different? Why is the formatting different between the spells? Come on, Owlcat. Hire me. I'll fix it. Let me just come in and fix your spells. I'll do it. I'll do it. Send me the files that have your spells in them. I will retype them out. Or I'll fix the descriptions so that you don't have them referencing things that aren't in the game. Like, just pay me. Pay me to do that. I'll do it. I hate his spells. TLDR, his spells suck. Well, hello, Shelby. Hi. I haven't seen you yet today. Your brother's been up and down and up and down and up and down. This is fucking bullshit right here. This right here, this is bullshit. This is bullshit because we still don't have Piranha Strike. And we're now level 19, which means we're not getting Piranha Strike. How the fuck are you going to build a rogue that doesn't take Piranha Strike? Like, of the save boosting feats, this guy should take Iron Will. He should take Iron Will. However, not at the expense of Piranha Strike. How? And like the finesse training, I don't really care. You're not going to use... Like, here's the thing about finesse training. We have many feats. Like, we have weapon focus. We have improved critical. We got critical focus to make use of improved critical. We got improved critical mythic. We got weapon focus mythic. We have like 5 or 6 feats all dedicated to daggers. I don't really care about the finesse training. This does not matter. You're not going to use anything but daggers on this character. It's just not going to happen. Spells. Still level 6. Do we just not get anything but level 6? Oh, you don't. Okay. So we're just taking random level 6 spells. By the way, of the random level 6 spells that we're taking, we still haven't taken transformation. Can't think of one good light hammer off the top of my head. That's fine. I don't care about the hammer. It doesn't matter. Finesse training Kukri. The problem with Kukri is that you don't have the other feats to boost it. You're not going to use them because you don't have those other feats for Kukri. You have them for dagger. So I'm okay. Like, well, I'm not okay with it. I just don't care. Like, this does not bother me at all because it doesn't matter. The fact that we don't have transformation yet does. That does bother me. It does matter. This is stupid. Take transformation. It's easily the best level 6 spell, and they haven't taken it yet. Like, all of these, I would trade every single one of these other spells. I would trade every one of these spells, including Greater Heroism, for transformation. Every single one of these traded for transformation. Hold up, Afro. One thing about that, is this considered a polymorph or just a transfer or transmutation effect? Because Mythic Shapeshifter specifies polymorph, not transmutation. Um, even Kitsune counts, but Kitsune is specifically a polymorph effect. It's not a polymorph. Okay, so then this one would not matter. But what you can do is you can get I was talking about this earlier. You get animal aspect. Animal aspect is a polymorph effect. Yeah, animal aspect does it, yes. So like actually if you go all the way back down here to level 2, you can get a level 2 spell, and then you could just do that. And that gets you Master Shapeshifter. So yeah, there is a way to get it, even if transformation doesn't do it. You could still get it via animal aspect. They are good spells, yes, for sure. Flawless attacks. What you could have done here, you could have done extra mythic ability and gotten improved abundant casting, so that you could get all of your spells boosted, all your spell slots boosted. You could have taken extra feat and actually gotten fucking Piranha Strike. But no, we got flawless attacks. Flawless attacks has literally the exact same problem as Hammer the Gap does. It is the exact same problem. Flawless attacks buffs up the spell or the attacks that are less likely to hit anyway. It makes them more likely to hit, but it's still attacks that are far less likely to hit. It's only at a -20 instead of a -25% chance to hit. It's only a -40% chance to hit instead of a -50. Like, once you put it into percentages instead of -4 and -5, like, once you actually start looking at it as a percentage, the difference, like, it just becomes so much more clear. All right. We get improved uncanny dodge. I'm actually okay with this. I would have much preferred, if we're gonna go with these, instead of crippling strike, I probably would have taken dispelling attack here. -20 instead of, yeah. It's yeah. So for the first attack, your first iterative attack, it's a -20% instead of a -25. For the second attack, it's a -40% instead of a -50%. And these are it's just bad. It's bad. There's a reason that I never take it on any fucking attack, any fucking character. Not attacker, character, period. I don't take it on characters because it's bad, because it doesn't help. But anyway, we got improved uncanny dodge. That's fine. I'm fine with this. It's okay. Like, the cool thing about improved uncanny dodge is that improved uncanny dodge can be taken without taking uncanny dodge. You can get this version without taking the original. They took both. And like, it's very niche, but there are was it the babaus that have sneak attack and run up invisible to you? Those guys can fuck you up. If they get a hit off and they actually do damage to you and they get their sneak attacks off, they could fuck you up. So taking uncanny dodge and improved uncanny dodge prevents that from being an issue. So And they are fairly ubiquitous. They're all over the place, Babaos are. So I'm kind of okay with taking them as a defense against them. I would have much rather preferred Dispelling Attack and Wearying Strike as opposed to Uncanny and Improved Uncanny Dodge. Especially on the lower difficulties. But there is an argument to be made for them. There's not an argument to be made for these shitty spells, though. Fucking stop it. Stop it. Let's go to Dragonkind 1. Yeah, this one's a polymorph. Hey, we finally got a polymorph so that we can make use of that mythic ability that we never took. I hate it. I hate it. Just take transformation. It's so much better than any of these. I would trade literally every single one of these spells. Every single one. Like I said, greater heroism included. I would trade every single one of them for transformation. If I could take one level 6 spell and that was it on this character, it would be transformation. I would give up every other one. Every other one. Without hesitation. Because you could get greater heroism from another person. You can get this from someone else. Unless you have an alchemist in the party, you're not getting transformation from somebody else. But that's Woljif. All of the spells, not just this. I don't know if I would go that far. Greater invisibility is fucking really strong for him. Dragonkind does count as a polymorph, but you're then using natural attacks that you have literally no feats to help with. And also, we would not have mythic finesse training with it, so we would not be getting our dex to damage with them. Yeah, Dragonkind is kind of a trap, honestly, I would say. You're going to be doing way less damage with that than you would if you just stayed as a person. Yeah, you literally, I mean, you transform into a dragon. You get the bite attacks, the wing attacks, the claw attack. You get all the dragon attacks, but they are those dragon attacks are neither daggers, nor short swords, nor light hammers. So you get no finesse training with any of them. But we have seen one very good build today in Wendu. We have seen one very bad build today in what's his name? Woljif. Let's see how Ember does. We got 48 minutes before I gotta go. Let's see if we can make Ember. Let's see if Ember works. So, first things first, we're gonna take a look at her stats. They took 1 off of strength. Interesting. She's got a 16 dex. They started at a 17 charisma. Interesting. That's actually really useful. This means that we're going to end up with an even charisma score for once. Our spell casting stat is actually going to end up as an even number, which is great. I like it. I like that a lot. Dex of 16. She does use a lot of ray spells and a lot of ranged touch attacks, so getting this dex up is fine. Con of 12 is fine. Intelligence of 12 is whatever. Must have done companions. There's signs of them learning from their mistakes. Sometimes. There was no signs of them learning from anything in Woljif's build. I'm actually curious if... I'm actually curious how they went about... I would like to talk to them about this kind of stuff, right? I would love to talk to some of the devs and ask them how they came up with these auto builds. Like, why would you choose these spells for this character? Why would you choose these feats for this character? Like, what's going on? Why would you do this? Get healing. So here's the thing. I never use witch hexes, so I never really cared about them that much. I understand that like they could be very, very well executed in like turn-based, but trying to deal with them in real time is such a pain in the ass that I just never bothered. Um, like I would get ice plant and then fucking whatever after that. Um, like I wouldn't really pay much attention to them. All right, so let's. Oh wait, skills. Before we get into spells, we look at skills. Persuasion 14, UMD 11. That's fine. That's fine. Knowledge Arcana. Okay, those are fine. Slumber greater than Evil Eye for this difficulty, probably. Honestly. Oh, there's a couple of other things that we didn't look at. Background. Mendevian Orphid, Lore Religion, doesn't matter. +1 on saving throws against demons. Oh, Slumber into Evil Eye. Gotcha. The +1 on saves against demons is actually pretty useful. And it's an untyped bonus, so it's just going to stick with us. It's not going to disappear the instant we get like a fucking Cloak of Resistance or anything like that. So this is actually like, if we're not going for pickpocket or something along those lines, this is actually a really decent background for her, I think. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Yeah, we have Slumber, vulnerability, and then we get healing, simple weapons, blackened, which is where we get all of our ray casts, right? 5th level you had Scorching Ray, 10th level you had Fire Snake, and 15th you had Hellfire Ray. Yeah. So we're gonna get Scorching Ray and Hellfire Ray, which are the 2 best ray spells in the game. We get Slumber here, which is great. We got Point Blank and Precise Shot, which helps us with those sorry. Helps us with those ray spells. And then yeah, like healing does match like Ember's whole deal. Isn't Blackened an Oracle Curse? Yes. So as a stigmatized witch, she uses charisma instead of intelligence for her spellcasting stat, and B, she does get an Oracle Curse as well. So that's like the archetype that she is allows those things to happen. Also allows her to be a spontaneous spellcaster instead of a prepared spellcaster. Which, considering the fact that this was the first time I ever played with a witch, I literally thought that witches were spontaneous casters. I thought that all witches were spontaneous casters for the longest time because of Ember. Yeah. All right, so then we get Spell Focus, Evocation. Really good. Is this necessary? We do have Point Blank and Precise Shot. We are going to get evocation spells that are not raycasts. Like we have Burning Hands already. We're gonna have access to others as well. Yeah, Burning Arc, Scorching Ray we now have because we're level 5. So yeah, getting. Why do I have these? Oh, do I have these because of an item that I'm wearing? Oh, I think I have the cold spell. I think I have the cold spell ring on her. That's why I have all these. Okay. Ember's class is really hard for Owlcat to mess up. Don't underestimate them. Oh yeah, level 1 spells. So we got Reduced Person now, which is very useful for her. We got Mage Armor, which is useful. Burning Hands. This is like one of the earlier AoEs that you get. Helps a lot with swarms and shit like that. So I really like having Burning Hands. Is a good spell. Is a good spell. I approve. Protective Luck. Again, I don't really care about her hexes because I never use them. Protective Luck. I think Evil, like Cackle, would be useful here because of Slumber. Oh wait, no. Does Cackle work with Slumber? It does not. It does not. I keep thinking that Cackle is every hex. It's not. I need to remember that it's not every hex. It's only Fortune, Protective Luck, Misfortune, and Evil Eye. But I think that Fortune might actually be better. Because this just gives you... Yeah, it just allows you to fucking get advantage on every fucking roll. Luck, Fortune, and Evil Eye. Yeah, I think Fortune into Cackle is like the best. You put Fortune on Woljif, so he has like 2 chances per attack to crit. Jesus Christ, that's insane. We get Heroism as a level 3 spell. That's fine. One of the best ones. I would like to see Delay Poison Communal at some point. I'd like to see Dispel Magic at some point. That's about it. Those are the only 2 that I would really, really like to see. I'm pretty alright with basically anything else that she takes as long as she gets those 2. Because she is kind of a support character. Like a support blaster. Helps so much early levels. That's fair. Ascendant Element Fire. Perfect. Perfect first mythic ability. Well, okay, so you could argue that it might be better to take Abundant Casting first and then get Ascendant Element second. There's definitely an argument to be made there. We get Spell Penetration at 7. This is really good because we're about to head into Dresden. Dresden has a lot of demons that are starting to get spell resistance. So getting Spell Penetration now is really, really fucking good. We get Unbreakable Heart, it looks like, which can be very useful. I tend to forget that this spell exists, mainly because I tend to forget about the immediate effect that it can have. If you cast it, like, after you get hit by a confusion effect or something like that, it can remove it. I always just looked at the rounds per level bit and was like, fuck it. That's useless. Because I tend to, like, for something like, Remove Fear, right? Which looks like she doesn't have. But, like, Remove Fear is very similar to Unbreakable Heart, except it's AoE. Oh, okay. Yeah. Luck can be used whenever. I didn't see luck on the list of options that she had, though. I'll have to look again whenever we get to her hexes. So yeah, I never pick Unbreakable Heart just because I looked at the rounds per level thing. I did not realize that it could be used to basically dispel those effects from somebody for a long time. Delay Poison normal. I don't know if I'm a fan of. Do we have anything that's better? Not really. Oh, Protective Luck. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I thought luck itself was its own thing. Fair enough. We did get to dispel magic, so this is one of the two that I liked, and we did get a weaker version of delay poison communal, so you know that we could make use of that. For the movement at least. School Mastery. All spells that you cast, the caster level increased by 1. All right, cool. This gets us access to new Scorching Ray, ray shots. Earlier, obviously, it increases the damage of things like Fireball if we were to get that, or anything like those that scale with caster level. All of that is perfectly, honestly, pretty great. There's Fortune, so we got that now. We don't have Cackle yet, which I'm not a fan of. Death Ward. Is that our first level 4 spell? It is. Why is Death Ward our first level 4 spell? I'm going to be entirely honest. I started dozing off there for a second. um... Wow, that hit me. Like, that came up on me really quick. um... So, something like Dimension Door could be useful here. Especially depending on whether you're playing on turn-based or real-time. Death Ward is good, yes. I don't really use it that often myself. But yeah, it's actually really good. It used to be a vital part of the Kingmaker speedrun. We used to pick up Death Ward scrolls. We do not do that anymore. All right. So now we have greater spell focus. We got Remove Curse instead of Delay Poison Communal. I'm not a fan of that too much. Remove Curse. We have Dispel Magic, which also acts as Remove Curse. And like literally Remove Curse and Dispel Magic work the same exact way, so you don't really get any benefit of casting Remove Curse over Dispel Magic. The only thing is that Remove Curse will only remove curses, whereas Dispel Magic can potentially dispel like a buff or something like that if you have a whole bunch of spells cast on that character. But I don't think that that's a common enough issue to not just go with Delay Poison Communal. And then Cure Serious Wounds is a level 4 spell. That's fine. I'm perfectly fine with her taking more cure spells. It's a good like little oh shit button if necessary. There's abundant casting. That's perfectly fine. True curses are so rare in this game. Yeah, it's like I think Baphomet casts Baleful Polymorph sometimes. And that's like the only one that I can think of. It's like literally the only one I can think of. Yeah, abundant casting is fine. Gets us a lot more Scorching Rays at level 2. A lot more level 3 spells that I can't remember what we have. Heroisms, I guess. But yeah. Abundant casting is perfectly fine, and honestly, I would say is almost required for a blaster caster. You want to have as many spell slots as possible. In fact, I would really like to see heightened meta magic here at some point. so that we can fill up some of these other spell slots that we don't have very many good spells in. Just let them die over trying to remove it. Yeah, I don't remember getting it on me for quite a while, but I've heard that it's almost impossible to get off if it actually lands. But yeah, all right. So what do we got? We got major ameliorating, which does what? Blinding, cursed, diseased, or poisoned. Oh, so this is just a shitty restoration. Gotcha. Level 5. Polymorph. A-Fangs. A-Fangs. There's like nothing here that I care about. None of these spells matter. Cure critical wounds. I don't care about dominate person. That's a shit spell unless you build for enchantment. It is. Yeah, it's just a shit restoration. Just get you an actual support caster. Elemental focus fire. We are focusing really fucking hard on these fire spells. Speaking of, we got Molten Orb. We got Volcanic Storm. We got Lightning Bolt, the well-known fire spell. Definitely didn't get Debility Poison Communal again, which upsets me on a personal level. I feel like this is a personal attack against me. Get fucking Delay Poison Communal, god damn it. And then we got Hold Monster to go along with Dominate Person. We do have Fire Snake though, so that's cool. Would like Cure Critical Wounds. K-Fangs could be fun for the memes, but that's just me. Spell Focus Evocation is an extra +2, so that's an extra 20% chance for them to fail their saves against our spells. Nice. Is there another Spell Pen Mythic? I think we don't need that just yet. I would say at level 6 we probably take it, because at that point we're probably going to have greater spell penetration, which means that we will be getting our full mythic level to our spell penetration instead of just half, right? That's how that works, right? Yeah, half your mythic rank if you have one. Greater spell pen gives you full. Build is going good. You could argue swapping Ascendant Element Fire and Abundant Casting could definitely be argued, because you're not really running into, well, I guess you are starting to run into demons. No, you don't really run into that many demons between ranks 1 and 3. I mean, except for while you're actually in Dresden, but you could also just have Ember sit back and shoot with a crossbow if she's having too much trouble actually dealing damage. Oh. Don't actually know. There's definitely an argument to be made as to whether you want Abundant Casting first or Ascendant Element. But regardless, right now we're getting Spell Focus Mythic. Gives us an extra +2 to our spell DCs. I'm fine with that. Alright, now we have major healing. Cure serious wounds using the Witch's Caster level. I would prefer to get most other things. I would prefer to get most other things, specifically Eagle Eye, Cackle, Misfortune. Any of those I would prefer to get. Major healing. The fact that we still don't have Cackle is actually, like, bad. I would say it's pretty fucking bad. But we got Hellfire Ray. I'm perfectly fine with this, because So here's the thing: we get Hellfire Ray on our spell list, but we also get it via the blackened uh curse. The thing about it is that they are on two separate spell levels, so they don't overlap. It's not redundant. Can become redundant. Well, actually, I wouldn't even say that, because even if you have something like heightened or something along those lines, a heightened Hellfire Ray is a full round action, whereas a normal spell of that spell level, Hellfire Ray, is a standard. So it would be better to have both Hellfire sources, so that you can get them both off as standard actions instead of full round. It took me an embarrassingly long time to learn that, by the way. Because I used to, back in the day, when I was doing Kingmaker speedruns, I used to run both my character as a sorcerer and Octavia the wizard. And I would basically build them very, very similarly. Yeah, sorry. So whenever you use a meta magic on a spontaneous spellcaster, the spell becomes a full round action. And because Ember has two sources of Hellfire Ray, right? She has one that's actually just in the witch's spellbook. And then she has a second source that is her blackened curse. And those two are on two separate spell levels. One's at level 6, one's at level 7. So the fact that she has two separate sources of Hellfire Ray means that she doesn't need to... So, like, if we wanted to dedicate all of her level 6 and level 7 spell slots to Hellfire Ray, we can do that now without her being needing to use meta magics, which would then make the level 7 Hellfire Rays a full round action, which means that spellcasts go off quicker, which means the enemies don't have as much time to do things if you're in real time. In turn-based, again, it doesn't really matter that much, but it still would lock you out if you, like, moved too far or something like that. It's been a long time since I played turn-based. At least the way that they want you to. But, like, once we hit 8th level spells, you then have legendary proportions to wrestle with. So a bunch of your spell slots are going to be you're going to want to dedicate those to legendary proportions, because if you have Ember in your party, she's going to be your arcane spellcaster, right? You're not going to want to have, like, Ember and Nenio in the party, because they are a bit redundant as characters. The kind of role that they... I guess you could say that Nenio is more of an enchantment, but, like, they kind of fulfill the same role, like damage or basically death-dealing spellcasters, regardless of whether it's via something like Phantasmal Killer or Weird or something like Hellfire Ray. They kind of serve the same purpose. By the time you get to 9th level spells on an auto build, I don't think you have to care. Yeah, that's fair. And, like, you could get something like... I don't know. I don't know what she gets at level 9. We'll see. We will see. We will see. Greater elemental focus. So, her evocation fire spells currently have a +6 to their spell DC, because of all the feats that we've taken. Spell focus, greater spell focus, mythic spell focus, elemental focus, greater elemental focus. So we've got 5 feats that give us a +6 to her spell DCs. It's kind of insane. We get Ice Storm at level 4, which is kind of funny because I think we already had Ice Storm, because of the ring that we were wearing. Hello, kitty cat. Dimension Door is still here as a choice. We could have that. Beyond that, there's not really. I mean, False Life Greater could be useful, I guess. Um, I'm not a huge fan of these because, like, what is she, level 13 right now? You could literally just roll really shit and only get plus 15 health. I also just don't think that this is really that big of a deal on most spellcasters. Like on somebody like Camellia who's like in the fight, it could be useful. But also 1 hour per level, that's a bit excessive. You're not gonna fucking last that long. Temporary hit points are not gonna last hours. Alright, come on. Come on, kitten. Come on down. Again. But yeah, like I would probably have taken Dimension Door at this point, not Ice Storm. K Fangs is just hilarious. If you're not gonna use it for the if you're not gonna use Cave Fangs for the, what are you doing? Get away from the cord. Get away from the cord. I don't want you around that. If you're not gonna use Cave Fangs for the cheese, I would definitely go for Cure Critical Wounds. More sources of healing are never a bad idea, especially on a spontaneous spellcaster where you don't have to worry about preparing the spell ahead of time. I think healing spells are much better on spontaneous casters than they are on prepared spellcasters, which is why. How does K-Fang's cheese work? I've actually never been able to get it to work myself. But apparently what you do is you have K-Fangs, you have enduring spells and greater or I guess even just enduring spells after level 7. Yeah, it's a free action to make traps. So you go into turn-based, and you just drop 1,000 fucking traps underneath somebody, and then they trigger them all at once, and they just explode into a fucking fountain of blood and death. The thing is that normally the way that this is countered is that every time you make a trap, it reduces the duration by 10 minutes. But if it's a 24-hour spell, suddenly that duration reduction is negligible, right? This is what, it's 24 times 6. That's how many times you can use it before you run out of a single casting of this spell. So yeah, K-Fangs can definitely cheese some nonsense. There we go. And actually, now that I know about that, like, that might be useful in a speedrun setting, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I would have to look real deep into Wrath speedrunning again because I haven't done it in so long. But yeah, K-Fangs is fine. Cure Critical Wounds is also a thing if you're not going to use the cheese. Because I think if you're not using the cheese, K-Fangs falls off really hard. And then at level 6, is this our first level 6 spell? Oh no, wait, we got Hellfire Ray last time. So yeah, we now have Hellfire Ray and Greater Heroism. I think these are probably the best two. Oh, Jesus Christ, Matt. Jesus Christ, Matt. What the fuck? So yeah, Heroism Greater and Hellfire Rays are level 6s. K-Fangs, we already had this spell because of a ring, but we got that as well. Never gonna use that one, but it's fine. I think he's finally calming down. I think he's finally just gonna lay down. We're gonna have a sleepy kitty. Along with a sleepy me, apparently. Cure Critical or Cure Moderate Wounds Mass is kind of shit. I would definitely have taken Heal here. We're level 14, so we're not going to have the extra Hellfire Ray just yet. But yeah, we have access to Heal. Oh, Legendary Proportions is a 7. I don't know why I was thinking it was an 8. What was I thinking that's an 8? Oh, the scary growth man, the personal spell. Why can't I think of the name of it? Whatever, the one where you grow big and you scare people. That's a level 8. So yeah, legendary proportions I would definitely choose. Let's get to level 8s. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, definitely legendary proportions over fucking cure moderate mass. Cure moderate mass can eat a dick. It's fucking trash. Yeah, legendary proportion or true sync communal. Yeah, those are both better. So now we're getting enduring spells. That's really interesting because she hasn't really taken that many buffs. Hi. Or any other kind of spell that would like help with enduring spells. Yeah, we do need the abundant castings. So the fact that we have enduring spells here, I feel like this is trying to spread out her mythic just a bit too much. We should definitely be getting improved, especially since we have access to all the way up through level 6 spells now. We should definitely be getting improved abundant casting. You could argue against getting greater until after we get level 9 spells, but you definitely can't argue for going for enduring spells over improved abundant casting right now. There's just no way. There's no argument whatsoever. We're finally getting... So, this is actually really interesting. Most of the time, they also did this with spell focus. They got spell focus, and then they got spell pen. And then they got greater spell focus. They usually don't split things up like this. It's usually spell focus, greater spell focus, spell pen, greater spell pen, elemental focus, greater elemental focus, right? That's usually how they go. But we've literally had more levels between getting spell pen and greater spell pen than we went before we got spell pen. Like, even if you count from level 1. Even if you ignore the fact that we don't get her until level 3. Hi. Yeah, we had 7 levels or 6 levels before spell pen. We have... It was then another 8 levels before we got greater spell pen. I don't know why I needed to count that. I fucking know that 7 plus 8 is 15. Whatever. So really interesting that it waited that long before we getting greater spell pen. But the fact that we now have it, and honestly, I'm actually kind of okay with spreading it out like that. Because like spell pen is probably going to be more than enough for the majority of the game for us. But getting greater spell pen at this point, like we're starting to get into the end game. We're starting to run into much higher level enemies. Yeah, we could have taken it earlier. We could have taken it like here at 11 and then delayed elemental focus by a couple of levels, but I'm actually really okay with this. It shows a little bit of nuance for this build. Putting off greater spell pen just a bit because we don't quite need it. Like for Act 4, the only place it needs is like Blackwater, yeah. Oh man, I remember the first time I went to Blackwater. I was not prepared, and I went in before they nerfed it to fucking shit and back. That was like one of the only things that I got to before they fixed it. Because I played the game pretty slowly. It's kind of like how I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 right now. Where I wasn't playing it very often. Or I wasn't playing it for very long or something like that. So I was making very slow progress. And they tended to fix all of the issues before I got to the place where the issue was happening. So I had like a very, very smooth first playthrough. of Wrath, despite the fact that a lot of people are having a lot of issues. I never saw any of them. Blackwater, on the other hand, I got to before they fixed it. Screeching halt on your first character. I literally thought that I was hard locked. I literally thought that my first playthrough was going to die in Blackwater because I was having so much trouble killing any of the enemies in there, and I couldn't roll high enough to unlock the door out. So I was locked in, and I couldn't kill anybody. And I had to I saved scum like a motherfucker in that place. It was insane. So much spell resistance on everything. Yeah. And like their ACs were crazy high, and they just did a shit ton of like everything. They were just like so much more difficult than they should have been. And then I watched Unsung playthrough, and he was like on a harder difficulty than I was, and he had no problem. Like, fuck you. Yeah. Yep. So you up the HP. Oh no. All right. Let's look at these spells real quick. So we got Break Enchantment. I guess it's fine. Oh no, wait. We still don't have Cure Critical. I would definitely take Cure Critical over anything else here at this point. None of these other spells are really that big of a deal. Break Enchantment doesn't really help over something like Dispel Magic. Not really. Dispel Magic just does Break Enchantment, but better, because it doesn't have a fucking max. Anyway, Raise Dead is just a good spell to have. It's just a really solid spell to have. And we don't really have any other spells on this list that we really care about. Oh, wait, Dispel Magic Greater could be useful. Dispel Magic Greater could definitely be useful, but Raise Dead is also a very, very good spell for us to get, so I'm happy with that. This sucks. It's not a fire spell, and it's not legendary proportions, therefore it is bad, and I don't like it. This is like the one time where we've gone multiple levels where we are not getting the spell that I feel is necessary for us to get. Like we got Hellfire Ray immediately, and then Greater Heroism immediately after that, and then Raise Dead immediately after that. Like our level 6 spells were fucking spot on. Our level 5 spells didn't really matter. There's not really any good level 5 spells, period. Level 4 spells, we got Death Ward and then Cure Serious Wounds. That's fine. Level 3, we got Heroism first. Level 2, we had Burning Arc and Molten Orb and Scorching Ray and all that stuff. But here, level 7, we've gotten Cure Moderate Wounds Mass and Chain Lightning. And by the way, there's that Hellfire Ray that we got for free because of the curse. So, doubling up on the Hellfire Ray spell slots. So yeah, the fact that we don't have Legendary Proportions or True Saint Communal is just really, really hurting right now. I'm not a fan. And then, okay, so here we get our first extra mythic ability, which for a long time I didn't think that auto builds would do. But we get an extra mythic ability, and we get greater enduring spells. Now, if we look at this, what abilities and mythic feats do we still need? We still need improved and greater abundant casting, and we still need spell pen mythic. I think those are the only 3 that we really need at this point. If we could do that, then we could do like expanded arsenal magic and like boost up another. Don't have elemental spell meta magic and vanilla water. No. Is that it allows you to choose which element you want your spells to be? No. There's a couple of classes that allow you to do that via class mechanics, but no, there's not. Oh. Looks like we had a quick hiccup. Looks like we're back though. But yeah. So yeah, I feel like improved, greater spell pen mythic, and then expanded arsenal. Make it that element, yeah. I think we could do that, and then we just like get a free extra spell school that's fucking really strong. Maybe go enchantment or necromancy on that one. Still boosting up charisma. Still taking, yeah, these. Where did this come from? Oh, we have an odd intelligence modifier, so we get an extra. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, so we've been putting our every other level point into lore religion, which does make sense thematically for the character. Debatable on how actually useful that is. Agony, it's a fort save, so it's shit. We're just gonna move on. Frightful aspect. That's the one that I was trying to think of. Yes. So if you have an odd intelligence modifier, every other level you will get an extra skill point. So because she's got a 12 intelligence, it's a +1 modifier. Means she gets an extra one every other level. Level 8 spells should have taken Frightful Aspect. Mind Blank is also a very good spell, very good buff. Yeah, that's about it. Frightful Aspect, Mind Blank, those are basically the only two spells that I really care about at level 8. If we had some way to convert elemental damage, I would definitely take Stormbolts. It's a very good spell, but we don't. So yeah, there's the improved abundant casting. Great. Skill focus persuasion. Interesting. Interesting. Now here's the funny thing. Because she has so many ray spells and like it focuses on ray spells so much, weapon focus ray could be useful, as could improved critical ray. Both of those could be useful feats for us instead of skill focus persuasion. We do get heal here. Heal is the other, so like of the two levels of the level 7 spells, the actual two that I would get, because I kind of forgot that heal was here. Legendary proportions and heal. These are the two spells that she 100% should do. Nope. Nope. We do get storm bolts instead of frightful aspect or mind blank. Storm bolts is fine, and it does do enough damage that it's going to be able to get over a lot of people's spell resistance, but unless you just roll like shit. The problem is it's not fire, exactly. All right, there's Spell Pen Mythic. I was really scared that we weren't going to get this early, or that they were going to like put in greater abundant spellcasting here. So I'm really happy to see Spell Pen Mythic here. It's like actually absolutely necessary. And then there's greater abundant casting. Yep, that's perfectly fine. It works very, very well. Lay to rest. Single undead creature with this hex, as if it was an undeath to death spell. Will save negates it. At level 18, how many undead are we fighting? How many undead are we fighting at level 18? There's the dragon and is. That's literally the only undead that I can think of is the dragon and is. A dragon isn't going to die to this? Probably not. They have good will saves? Yeah. You could take Life Giver. It's a free resurrection, saving you 5 grand every time you use it. Oh, there's 9 o'clock. What? We actually got through all of these. I'm actually really surprised. Um, haven't taken Misfortune or Evil Eye or Cackle. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. Actually, I think Cackle's probably the right one because we do have Protective Luck here, so we could get Cackle to extend it. Right? Cackle boosts extended luck or Protective Luck. Yeah. So I think Cackle is the right choice here. And then either Evil Eye or Fortune or... Wait, do we have Fortune? Oh, we do. So we have 2 of them that are actually boosted by it. So I would definitely take Cackle. Meta Magic would be such a good option. Yeah. And then we get Cure Critical Wounds Mass, which I think is shit. We definitely should be getting... Wait, do we not get Heal Mass? Wait, do we not get Heal Mass? Is that not a spell that we get? We get Heal, but not Heal Mass. That's fucking weird. Heroic Invocation is really fucking good. Mind Blank Communal is really fucking good. Take either of these 2. Either of these 2. These are the 2 best ones here. Don't take any of this other shit. Oh, there's Improved Initiative. That's not on the wish list. That's really fucking weird. They have heal, but not mass heal. That's fucking weird. We do get Frightful Aspect. That's good. We get Dominate Monster, which is not. And then we get Improved Initiative Mythic. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that. That gets us an extra +10 to our... Yeah. There we go. That's fine. Actually, this is a really fucking solid Mythic build. This is actually a really, really solid Mythic build. I'm very, very pleased with this. Level 20, we get Restless Slumber and Heroic Invocation. Yeah, the build overall is actually pretty good. Restless Slumber is fucking shit. Ember Auto could technically work in it. Yeah. Like, this is actually a pretty solid, like, focuses. So this is the thing about builds. The best builds fucking laser focus on one thing. And that's what this build did. This build laser fucking focused on evocation fire damage. And then skill focused persuasion, because fuck it, why not? Specifically raise spells, right? We got point blank and precise shot, but then we also got a bunch that boosted up our save DCs. So any fire evocation spell is going to have a very good chance of getting through this. We also have Spell Pen Mythic. We also have Improved Initiative Mythic. We got Heroic Invocation, which is one of the strongest. It's one of the strongest buffs in the game. It's not as strong as I used to think it was, because Greater Heroism gives that +4 morale bonus to attack and damage. But this is an AoE spell. It's one spell slot that opens up all of your Greater Heroism spell slots, which means we no longer need to use Greater Heroism. We can then use it for Hellfire Rays, more Hellfire Rays at level 6, as soon as we get Heroic Invocation. So that's like the actual big thing at level 20. The actual big thing here at level 20 is Heroic Invocation makes it so that Ember no longer needs to cast Greater Heroism. Yes, Greater Heroism does other things. It boosts saves. Specifically, that's like the main big difference, is that it boosts saves. This only boosts attack and damage. And it also gives you 2d8 plus 4 temporary hit points, and become immune to fear and charm effects, which is also very nice. Um, yeah, yeah. I like this. Would I have preferred Mind Blank Communal? Obviously, I would have preferred both Heroic Invocation and Mind Blank Communal, instead of these other shit spells that we picked. But yeah, like swapping out some of the hexes. I think the hexes are probably the weakest part of the build. I think the hexes are probably the weakest part of the build. But again, if you're playing on real time, trying to micromanage the hexes and trying to keep Cackle up all the time and all this stuff is annoying. um it's obviously a lot easier on turn-based. So it's mostly her spells that I'm worried about. And let's just look back over that. We got Frightful Aspect here. I would have liked to have gotten what was the other one? Can't think of it anymore. It's gone. So we got Heal, we got Hellfire Ray. We did not get Legendary Proportions. That is actually a really big problem with this build. We got Chain Lightning and Cure Moderate Wounds Mass instead of Legendary Proportions. That's actually a really big problem. Because that is that is the best buff in the game for melee characters. Like, no competition. Legendary Proportions is the single best buff in the game for melee characters. Correction, strength-based melee characters. Not supposed to be as good as this. I don't give a fuck. It's the same in Kingmaker. It's a 2 times size increase in Kingmaker as well. It's only 1 in tabletop. I actually did not know that. Here, Hellfire Ray, Greater Heroism, Ray's dead. Yeah, that's fine. Here we got some K-Fangs nonsense. I don't know what she's talking about. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah, this build is pretty good. I don't think that this is as good as this one isn't quite as good as Wendu's, right? Wendu is just a really fucking good build. Mainly because she just has all of the things. She has so many feats that she just can do everything. But I would say that this is probably the second best build that we've seen out of the companion characters. Wendu and Ember, probably the 2 best that we've seen so far. Trying to think. I don't think Sela takes it. Camellia, no. Yeah, because Camellia goes like halfway down the Vital Strike route. Oh yeah, there is also Enduring K-Fangs bullshit. So yeah, that's a thing. Because like the thing about K-Fangs is that it is a buff that you put on yourself. It is a personal self buff that you can then use to create the traps. Yeah, Wendu was really strong. Probably the strongest one that we're going to see. But Ember was pretty good too. And both of them just shat all over Woljif. Woljif was terrible. But yeah. I think So kind of foolproof if you're not an idiot. It's, yeah, exactly. Which is kind of funny because Land's build was kind of terrible. I was not at all impressed with Land's build. It was kind of all over the place. Which it's really funny to just compare Land and Wendu. Land's build is all over the place. It doesn't really do anything good. It does a lot of things really badly. Wendu is just like, no, I stand in one spot, I shoot you forever, and you die. It's what I do. I don't do anything else. I stand in one spot and I shoot. That's all I do. Land's like, I'm gonna run up to you within 5 feet so that I can get snapshots off, but I'm also gonna, you know, you can't hit me because I have the point blank master thing, which technically I think Wendu also grabbed, but that's fine. So I'm a character that's supposed to be shooting people, but I'm also supposed to be in melee range, but I'm also... Lance was fucking stupid. I hated Land's build. It was really, really bad. But yeah, that's where we're gonna leave. I gotta go. It's 10 after. I gotta go get ready for work. Tomorrow we're gonna be continuing the AT-AT build. We're gonna be making more progress on that. And I'm gonna be talking about some more Star Warsy stuff. I'm gonna try a different thing tomorrow than what I was doing last week. Last week I was trying to focus specifically on the Phantom Menace. This week I'm just gonna be talking about whatever the fuck I feel like talking about. Yeah. That's the plan for tomorrow. Thursday I'll be off. Friday we will be doing Haunter. We finished up Psyduck yesterday. On Friday we will be starting the Haunter run, which will, if you include Gengar from my Twitch days, will be the first 3-phase evolution Pokemon line that we have finished. We will have done Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar. And then Saturday, as long as I fucking remember that I have a stream on Saturday, we'll be doing Baldur's Gate, because I've been really bad about that lately. I'm really sorry about missing so many Saturday streams and missing so many Baldur's Gate streams. But, yeah. Yeah, Psyduck had some problems, unfortunately. Specifically with... Part of that was my fault. I was trying to be a bit too frugal with my items, I think, at the end there. If I had just used my my PowerPoint items, I could have beaten it the first time I got to the champion. But I also got really unlucky in that fight. So maybe not. Maybe not. But anyway, I'm gonna go. So yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out and watching. I appreciate y'all as always. And as always, I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I hope you all have a good evening. See you next time. Bye-bye.